The courthouse hallway was filled with pale morning light when Armand Hale stepped inside, carrying nothing but a thin folder and the quiet belief that this chapter of his life was about to close forever, until he saw her standing near the window, sunlight falling across her face, and the world seemed to stop because the woman he thought he no longer knew was visibly 7 months pregnant, her hands resting protectively over a life he never imagined existed. In that single moment, the divorce papers in his hand felt weightless, and the past he had tried so hard to bury rose up with a force he was not prepared to face. Before the story unfolds any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of love to heal what seems broken beyond repair, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Light of Kindness, because stories like this live in the space where compassion meets hope. Armand had arrived early, as he always did when nerves threatened to undo him. The courthouse stood bathed in daylight, its tall windows letting in beams of sun that revealed floating dust and the steady movement of people who carried their own heavy stories. He had rehearsed this day in his mind for months, telling himself that finalizing the divorce from Serena Vale would bring relief, maybe even freedom. Their marriage had not ended with shouting or betrayal, but with silence. The slow erosion of two people who stopped knowing how to reach each other. Work had pulled Armand into long hours and constant travel, while Serena had retreated inward, carrying worries she never voiced. When she left quietly, leaving behind a note that said she needed space to breathe. Armand signed the papers later, convincing himself it was mercy for both of them. Seeing Serena now shattered that carefully built illusion. The curve of her stomach was unmistakable, not hidden but embraced, wrapped in a soft sky-blue dress that caught the daylight. Her face looked older somehow, marked not by age but by experience, yet there was a calmness about her that unsettled him. Armand froze where he stood, his mind scrambling for explanations that refused to form. He tried to remember the last night they spent together, the quiet rain tapping against the windows, the distance between them on the bed. Time blurred in his head, weeks and months collapsing into a single crushing realization that this child had been growing while he was convincing himself his life was moving on. Serena listened, her gaze steady, her expression unreadable. She did not offer forgiveness easily, nor did she push him away. Instead, she spoke of her own journey, of the loneliness and strength she had discovered, of the child who had given her purpose during the darkest nights. She made it clear that she did not need saving, but she did believe in accountability and change. Armand realized then that love was not about reclaiming the past, but about earning a place in the present. Days turned into weeks under bright daytime skies as Armand made choices that reflected his words. He attended appointments, not as a husband reclaiming rights, but as a man learning to show up. He listened more than he spoke. He supported Serena's plans for her art studio, helping where he could without overshadowing her independence. Slowly, trust began to rebuild, not as a return to what was, but as something new and more honest. The birth of their child came on a sunlit afternoon, the room filled with warmth and quiet anticipation. When Armand held his child for the first time, he felt a humility that words could not capture. The weight in his arms was not just a baby, but a second chance he had not known he would be given. Serena watched him, seeing not the man who had once drifted away, but one who had learned, painfully and sincerely, what it meant to stay. If this story is touching your heart right now, if it reminds you of love lost and found, of mistakes that can become lessons, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video on Light of Kindness, because your support helps keep stories of hope alive. Just before we reach the end, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and share your thoughts or experiences about second chances, because your words may be the light someone else needs today. The divorce papers were filed, but what truly changed was not a legal status, but a mindset. Armin and Serena did not rush into labeling their relationship. They chose patience, honesty, and respect, building a future that acknowledged the past without being trapped by it. Under the steady glow of daytime skies, they learned that love was not proven by grand gestures, but by consistency, accountability, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths. By the time their child laughed for the first time, sunlight dancing across the room, Armin knew that freezing in that courthouse hallway had been the moment his life truly began again. Not because everything was suddenly perfect, but because he had chosen to feel, to care, and to become better than he was before. And sometimes that choice is the most powerful ending of all.